Yeah, it's 1 o'clock at the Aviva Stadium tomorrow, probably versus the North in the Nations League. But just before I mention that, something I wasn't expecting to see today, Kathleen, and I'm not even sure if you've seen this, so I'm going to throw it at you. Irish Times headline: the day Veronica Guerin played soccer for Ireland against England, Dalymount Park, 1981. Apparently, Guerin's former teammates want the FAI to honour her. The late journalist was a very, very talented footballer.
I haven't seen that actually
this
morning.
Something for your Irish Times reading.
Yeah, I was actually recording the COYGIG podcast this morning just before the show started, so that's in your feeds now if anyone wants to give it a listen. But that's class. I really think the FAI should do something about that, because she was such a talented reporter, and it's a great thing for them to jump on and show that they support.
And do you remember in the
81.
movie, she would always be out playing with
Yeah.
her kids.
She wore a
with
Man
her
United
Man
jersey.
That's a
United
good
jersey.
point, actually. I totally forgot about that.
Veronica,
But
you
I
should have
never
been
knew
wearing a
she
League of Ireland
played
jersey.
level.
I got to mention, you give us a lovely. We're kind of podcast rivals now.
We are podcast rivals
COYGIG
now.
and LOI Central going for
Yeah, we've both
ultimate
been
glory.
nominated for Best Sports Podcast.
Oh yes, well
Yeah.
done, lads, brilliant.
And Kathleen did say, she did actually put this: if we don't win, I hope you do. And I thought that was lovely, actually.
No,
Yeah.
that's
and
just fight and talk.
Yeah, fighting talk. Them's fighting words.
She's going for
We said we
gold.
would share a pint on the night and kind of, shake hands and...
Fight and talk during the week at a certain press conference about Vera Pauw. And I haven't spoken to you about this. We're not going to go over it in great detail now, but wow.
Yeah, we thought all the excitement was over, and of course it wasn't. I don't think it'll ever be over at this stage. But yeah, Diane Caldwell, strong words from her. But I mean, I would kind of argue that maybe there was a point in saying something. Now, I think maybe there was some... If you listen to exactly what she said when she was talking about what was needed, it's actually very natural. I think that the sort of stuff that you would want when a team is moving on to a new manager, you want things to become better. That's the reason you move on. So I think that was kind of fair. I think maybe they put a little bit of pressure on the squad, saying that they got to the World Cup in spite of Vera. I can understand where she was coming from in terms of how the players feel, but at the end of the day, she did also contribute. And I do think she came at the right time for Irish football, in that our players were getting more professionalism, they were getting more playing time in like the Championship and the WSL, and like the league would come on and there was a lot more focus on it. So I think she was the right person to bring us through that period of time.
Who's run the shots in the dressing room then tomorrow?
I think Eileen Gleeson and Emma Byrne and the whole crew. I mean, obviously we do COYGIG with Emma Byrne, and she's not afraid to say what she thinks. Those players massively respect her. Like Aisling, you were talking to the players after they qualified in Scotland, and so many of them were talking about her influence on Irish sport. There's massive respect there for Eileen Gleeson as well. She was assistant under Vera Pauw before she went to Glasgow, and when you listen to her speak, like, I can totally see why they brought her to be the person that takes us through this interim period, because it was like water off a duck's back whenever she was talking about the Vera Pauw stuff, and even the fact that Tyler Toland is in the squad, and that was obviously a controversial element to Vera Pauw's reign as well. So, but she was just able to navigate it all so easily, which I think is amazing that we have her in there as well as Director of Women and Girls Football, and makes me really excited for what she can do in that role over the coming years if she sticks to it, which it seems like she is. She seems so dedicated to it. So tomorrow is going to be really interesting because it's a big deal. It's historic in that they're playing there for the first time, but also it really matters for our qualification chances, and we need to get out of Group E. I mean, we've seen it on the men's side.
Jesus, yeah.
And, Karen Duggan and I were talking about it this morning. Even the teams we're playing, Northern Ireland tomorrow is going to be good because it's a derby and it's in the Aviva. But, we play Hungary, we play Albania. I don't think either of those have players playing in a lot of the top leagues.
Yeah.
Definitely not the WSL anyways. I can't think of any players off the top of my head. We don't want to be playing those teams. We want to be getting those big games and being able to also sell the team to people and be like, okay, yeah, you want to go and watch Ireland play Sweden like we did in Tala or wherever the games are being held. So like a win tomorrow is crucial on so many different
levels, because there is a sense of a pressure going in as well.
Can I bring you back to it, Aisling? So Dan McDonald, my podcast co-host that we mentioned, he wrote a strong piece about the Caldwell interview. But it is on the players now. It's like any upheaval that happened in Gaelic games where it's like there was basically a heave against the manager. And there sort of was here, whether you liked it or not. It's on the players now. It's like, over to you. Get it sorted.
But I think the players know that. Like, that's always the case in sport. Whenever players speak out about a manager, no matter what level you're playing at, it always goes back to them, because they're the ones that have to go out on the pitch and actually do what they're told or else perform or whatever
I suppose
it
it's
is.
a little bit different when someone comes out and says, in spite of the manager,
Yeah.
we got to where we are. So I
And
do
you
think...
did a breakdown with McCabe and basically Powell, where you have that spat, such a public spat. It's like this relationship is broken down. What will we see different from Ireland now in terms of the philosophy of how this team actually wants to play, in your view?
Yeah, how they set up, like how they play as a team. Will it be a new identity of this Ireland team? That's what I'm excited about seeing. Can we get more out of this team, out of their talents that we know that they can play at this level? Can we go out and see McKay pushed up the pitch a little bit more? Can we see Denise O'Sullivan pushed up a little bit more? You know, play into their strengths. You know, they're playing at high levels themselves. There's no doubt that we can go out and do this. So... yeah, it'll be interesting to see that way, but I do feel there's a big pressure now to go out and get this performance, because the public perception of this Ireland team, it's a little bit fragile, you know.
You'd say it's fragile.
I would say it's fragile.
Kathleen?
Which I don't like to say, don't get me wrong, but I just as a feeling
Fragile,
I have.
okay.
No, I totally agree with you, Aisling, but it frustrates me how fragile it is, because it's like, it feels like the people who came on board for, say, like the World Cup journey, which is great, like 100%, that's brilliant, are now have an opinion of this team, and like the people who have followed the team for a long time don't have that opinion. So it's like, how do we merge those two? And you know, I think I saw loads of comments of people saying like, oh, this Irish team is just a pub team or whatever, and all this sort of stuff, and I was without Vera Pauw, and I was like, Katie McCabe was just nominated for a Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, that is such
You know,
BS.
that wasn't Vera Pauw. Denise O'Sullivan, captains North Carolina Courage.
There are rumours, by the way, that Vera just might be on the Late Late tonight, on its second show for
never
Patrick
ends.
Keelty. It's just rumours. Before all of
That
that,
would
though,
be epic.
Who needs Vera Pauw?
I actually can't. Like, I feel like I need to walk out and go like sit in a dark room. I'm like, will this story ever stop going round?
But it is mad to see where this team has gone from nobody really talking about it. We're trying to...
I'm trying to tee up Adrian Barry.
I know, and now
it was
to
supposed
see
to be
where
a
we're at.
surprise, and you've just bled the life out of it. It's now time for Adrian Barry.
Off the Ball's French lesson. How to say Go Ireland.
Allez l'Irlande.
The Rugby World Cup on Off the Ball Breakfast.
And apparently, if you're watching this, it just looks... Well, let's just watch it. Adrian, where are you? Oh, wow.
Scenery behind me, Johnny. I've now wandered inside the Stade de France, which didn't take me quite the hour since we were on air, but not a million miles off it. I did get lost on the way here and came in through one of the corner entrances. So, yeah, and I'm also now in absolutely the wrong position. So I'm fully expecting somebody in the next few minutes to come along and turf me out of here. But
can I get your reaction to Vera Pauw possibly being on the Late Late, where I love nothing more than this is the last thing I'm going to say on the issue, and then she's on the Late Late?
A bit like Kathleen's exhalation when you mentioned that.
May or may not happen. We don't know. We can't speak for Vera.
Look, she will come out and give an interview, and she's done obviously a piece with RTE, I think with Tony O'Donoghue previously. She will come out and say something, I'm sure. And she might get six minutes to do that in the Late Late Show tonight.
Is it
Off
raining?
the Ball's door is open for 36 minutes if she wants to come in sometime.
Absolutely.
As Kathleen goes, oh Jesus, please no. Is it raining? It's absolutely bucketing down. Yeah, sheeting. Now it is supposed to dry up tomorrow and be a little bit nicer, but you can see the pitch is in unbelievable condition. One bench here, another bench over here, and the pitch looks great. The flags have just gone up since we've come in. I don't know if you can catch a view of those there. They've put the flags up. The place is getting ready. It's a real live activity. There must be a couple of thousand people here milling around.
What will be the supporters breakdown actually briefly before you go? I guess a lot more Irish.
30,000 is what they reckoned.
Wow.
Johnny, we're expected into Paris this weekend, and generally, beg, borrow, or steal, Irish fans have a decent reputation of managing to get themselves into stadiums at the last minute. So I did see a lot of South African jerseys going around last night, but hopefully we'll outnumber them. But this place is class. It's really put on its fineries, Johnny, for the biggest game of the World Cup here tomorrow.
Yeah, you look like you're tired after that umbrella holding early on, so we'll let you go.
My trusty umbrella, I'm going to need it.
Yeah, he literally, Kathleen, he was literally holding an umbrella for the entire
I was
interview.
watching,
It was
yeah.
tiring. It was like, you have
Well,
to
as
go...
Aisling said, there's nothing quite like standing there and someone gives an answer. Like, I don't know if you guys saw, someone took a photo of myself and Alana Kanan, who used to work here, for the Vera Pauw press conference whenever she announced the team for the World Cup. But they did it in the stands in the bowl at UCD. And Vera was like, say, 3 rows in front of us. And there's just this photo of me and like Alana leaning over as far as we can for half an hour. And I was like, I swear my arm is going to fall off if she answers one more question.
You have to run. And everyone's just leaving us. Like, so it's first it's Andy Dunn. Now you're off to Pat Kenny. If Pat Kenny says to you, will you watch Vera Pauw? Where's she on the Late Late tonight? Would you have the popcorn out? What are you saying, Kathleen?
I'm actually going to the Shanaka event in Imma tonight for Culture Night.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thinly veiled, I'm cultured.
I'm very cultured,
Yeah.
guys. I don't
what
just
a
do
cool
sport,
place.
I do all things. Although, to be fair, I was out last Friday night with my boyfriend and we got home at like 1 o'clock in the morning or something after a bit of a bop in Hogan's. We were on our way home, ran into some pals outside Grogan's, went to Hogan's for a bop. And we put on the kettle and sat down with a cup of tea and rewatched The Late Late because we had heard so much about it when we were out and about. So
That's
Yeah,
mad.
that may happen again tonight. Who knows?
So
What a job he's doing.
Yeah, so you can go to Hogan's and come in here for OTB, and that's impressive. So we will let you go then, I guess.
It was a Friday, to be fair.
It was a Friday, to be fair. So how are you calling it actually, Aisling, Northern Ireland? Northern Ireland have a new manager as well.
Hopefully goals. Hopefully 2-1 Ireland.
Hopefully 2-1 Ireland.
I said that this morning as well on
did you?
COYGIG, yeah. But Karen was a bit like, nah, we can score more than that.
Almost like Keith Barry.
haven't
I'm
They
like,
did it
I'm like,
too
where are they going to
often.
come from?